All right, and now we'll pivot back to the local bills. There was something that came to our office, miscommunication, but it will be Representative Plakin that will be presenting the bill. It'll take 5 minutes to do so. Then we have speakers who will take 2 minutes each on that. We want to move this forward. We know this is something that's very important to the city of Winter Springs. We want to make sure that it's heard clearly, and then we can move forward with that. So Representative Plakin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This Winter Springs Charter Amendment will modernize the city's governance by making the mayor a full voting member of the city commission while maintaining a 5-member body. This amendment makes the mayor a voting member on all matters, maintains no new positions or costs, eliminates the outdated veto power, ensuring decisions are made by majority vote, places the proposal before the voters in the 2026 general election for final approval. It improves accountability, eliminates confusion, reflects modern standards. It will align Winter Springs with other Seminole County cities and current governance models. And I want to point out this reform is in response to the legislature's Joint Legislative Auditing Committee findings and is simply one step forward towards solving these issues. That is the bill, Mr. Chair.
All right, and I'd like to invite City of Winter Springs Mayor Kevin McCann. Please come forward. And you are recognized. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And so I'll get right to it. 2 minutes here. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and the work that you do. I am Kevin McCann, and it's been the honor of my life to serve as the mayor of the city of Winter Springs. This bill in correspondence been outlined an intent to change our city's governance by making the mayor a voting member of the commission and placing the question before the voters in November of 2026. I have no problem with on principle. Discussing the charter that has served our community since 1959, let me just be very clear. I have no issue abiding by the wishes of our residents regarding the role of mayor while providing the residents the final say. That said, the City Commission is already preparing to discuss forming a charter review committee, which I fully support. That process allows our residents, and not Tallahassee, to evaluate and recommend any charter changes from that charter, again, that's been in place since 1959. What happens if that committee, after public meetings and deliberation, does not recommend this change, or if the proposal goes before voters and they reject it at the ballot box? What then? Will those outcomes be respected, or will our community face another wave of political attacks by special interests such as Mr. Phillips, simply for exercising its right to self-govern? At some point, we must all agree to respect the will of the people, whether they vote yes or no, without a gun to our head. Winter Springs is not dysfunctional. We are financially sound, transparent, and we're thriving. We hold a AA+ bond rating, a AAA bond default rating. We have one of the lowest tax rates in the 9 counties that make up Central Florida, top-ranked schools, and one of the lowest crime rates in the state. We are an example of good local governance that works. So in closing, I respectfully thank this delegation and the residents listening today for standing up for home rule, for standing up against political insiders or special interests, and stand with the people of Winter Springs. Our residents have earned the right to decide their own future, free from outside interference, and once they have spoken, they deserve the dignity of being heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, City of Winter Springs, Commissioner Mark Caruso. You are recognized.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, delegation. Recently, a bill has been proposed at the state level that would change our local city charter and how it's structured. I want to be very clear. This is not about whether I agree or disagree with our mayor's role. This is about where that decision should be made. I don't believe the state should step in and tell us what our city's mayor's role should be. That's a decision for you, the residents who live here, vote here, and care about this community every day. We already have a fair local process in place to make changes to our city charter. If residents want an amendment, the commission can vote to place it on the ballot in an upcoming election. Then it takes 60% of voters to approve it. That's the right way. Your voice, your vote, your city. So far, not one resident has come to me requesting a charter change or a meeting to discuss adding one to the ballot. I haven't seen petitions, polls, or any local effort calling for this. When a bill like this is filed at the state level, it takes your voice out of the equation and hands power to the people who don't live here and don't represent our community. That's not right. It's government overreach, and it's a direct attack on home rule and local control. Values that should always start and end right here at home in our beautiful city of Winter Springs. And with that being said, I thank you for your time. God bless Seminole County, God bless our law enforcement, and especially state corrections and probations officers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have City of Winter Springs, Sarah Baker. And you are recognized.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for taking the time to let me speak on this proposed change to our charter in Winter Springs. One of the first things I noted during my orientation when I was first elected is that our charter had not gone under review for about 15 years, when it's typical that a charter does go under review for about every 10 years. At charter review, things that are typically looked at are changes that need to be made to meet technology changes or new information and best practices outlined by the Florida League of Cities. Forming a charter review committee has been a priority of mine. A small group of locally loud voices have approached you to intervene and make changes to our charter without referendum and a clear disregard of home rule powers granted by the Florida Constitution, and more important, the voices of our community. Article 8, Section 2B of the Florida Constitution grants municipalities the right to govern local affairs through their own charters without legislative interference. Under Chapter 166, Florida statutes, the Municipal Home Rule Act, cities have the power to amend their charter by local referendum unless otherwise prohibited by law. While the legislature can technically amend a charter by special act, doing so bypasses the will of our local electorate and undermines local self-governments, the foundation of home rule. The legislative packet itself acknowledges this, but misinterprets as clear authority. Authority does not equal appropriateness. Home rule was explicitly designed to prevent Tallahassee from overriding local will. I will be remiss to not mention that this is not a simple charter change. A local group has made it clear that the goal is for Jesse Phillips to run for mayor and to stack the deck, and that this charter change enacted will bypass community and pass future charter changes by commission vote, withholding it from a referendum, to create a strong mayor, which he has been very vocal about wanting to have for our city. This is an inappropriate use for power, deceiving personal goal, and a political move. I truly hope that the integrity of this delegation cannot be a part of that. Thank you.
If you can hang on just a second,
Yes.
we have, you're recognized, Representative Baker.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I just want to point out that the bill does put it on a referendum in the 2026 election.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have former Winter Springs Commissioner Ken Greenberg. Thank you. You are recognized.
Good morning, Chair and members of the delegation. My name is Ken Greenberg, and I serve as the president of the Winter Springs Community Association, which represents residents across their city and are committed to restoring accountability, effective leadership, and local government. Additionally, I formerly served as a Winter Springs Commissioner as well. I want to briefly share with you the results of our most recent citywide survey on the proposed charter reform. I believe you have a copy of it up there as well. A reform that would establish a 5-member city commission, including a voting mayor, and eliminate the mayor's veto power. In short, the results were overwhelmingly, and out of approximately 450 respondents, 97% supported the proposed reform, while only 3% favored keeping the current system. That level of consensus is virtually unheard of in local government issues. For context, a similar survey conducted in 2021 found that only 83% supported the same change. In 4 years, that number has climbed to over 97%. As residents have witnessed repeated dysfunction, financial mismanagement, and public frustration under the current system. The message from the community is clear. What was once a reform idea has become a public demand. We also asked residents how they believe this reform should occur. Most residents stated they did not care, they simply want it done. There is deep recognition among the residents that this system, as it stands, cannot fix itself. As you know, Winter Springs operates under a structure unlike any other small city in our region. A mayor that does not vote, yet holds a veto over those that do. It has created gridlock, blurred accountability, and eroded public trust. Every small city in Seminole County, such as Lake Mary, Longwood, Oviedo, has a mayor who votes alongside their commissioners. It is time for Winter Springs to catch up. Back in mid-2021...
Thank you. We need to land that plane so we can keep moving forward.
Okay, just give me a quick thing. I'll speed up what I was basically going to say. Back in mid-21, Commission brought up changing to a 5-person commission, and even announced they were going to hold a workshop, canceled that workshop, and nothing has been done since then. Basically, candidly...
So we need you to go ahead and land that plane, just to be fair to the other speakers as well.
Okay. I don't trust this commission to put this on the ballot in and by itself. This has been discussed for years and tabled for years. So with that, I will cut my words short, and thank you for your leadership in helping for good governments, and thank you for what you do for the community.
Thank you, sir. We'll now bring it back to the delegation for discussion. Do we have questions, comments?
I'll go first. So when you're in the legislature, one of the most frequent conversations I have with my colleagues is, why is it that 50 of 52 weeks a year there's a local election somewhere in Florida? We have 411 municipalities, and everybody does something different, and everybody makes the claim that it's because they're special, and we remind them, you are special, just like everyone else. And so people come up and they say, well, we have a problem with our community, and the mayor said this. And the first thing we have to ask is, well, where are you from? Because what your mayor can do is different everywhere in Florida. Florida basically has 4 different structures for mayor, right? You got strong mayor, you got weak mayor, you got commissioner-manager structure, which is what Winter Springs is, and then you have a full commission structure where commissioners actually run independent departments. Very uncommon, very small communities. But then when you get within commission-manager structures, you have to read their charter, because in some municipalities, like Winter Springs, your mayor doesn't actually vote, they only have veto power, and it allows them the ability to say, on popular things, I'm the mayor and I led, and then on unpopular things, say, I never voted for that. We can't do that in the legislature, and so communities the size of Winter Springs and maybe a little bigger, not as big as Jacksonville, which has a strong mayor and is probably the best example in Florida of a strong mayor structure with a true executive branch, not appropriate for Winter Springs. I think this is, most notably because we amended it to include that it goes to referendum. And so if you're opposed to this, it just means you don't like civic participation from the community members in which you're governing. If we could get rid of constitutional amendments, I'd love it, for anything outside of structure of government. This is structure of government. This is the most appropriate way of doing it. I wouldn't like it if the feds come in and told the state what they should be doing statutorily, like how many people should be on our Supreme Court in the state of Florida. That's why we have our own Constitution. The city has their own charter for the same reason, and the way we amend it at the state is the way we are suggesting we amend it at the city, which is by referendum. And so all this says is, if you want to look like some of the other places in Florida and be able to govern in a way that's extremely similar to everywhere else, put it to the voters. Maybe it passes, maybe it fails. But the people upon whom you are governing, just like at the state level, should have the ability to put this to a vote.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. And just to remind people on the dais and in the audience, I live in Winter Springs. I have represented Winter Springs for 7 years, and we've heard some polling numbers thrown out. Not in 7 years has anyone ever emailed me, called my office, stopped me in Publix, and said, hey, you need to change the charter of this city. So again, I'm out there and available. This is not a burning issue of the people or somebody. In 7 years, one person would have said something, right? Common sense. But no one has brought this up. This is being driven as a special interest. And although I kind of like the bill, as Senator Broder pointed out, in different forms of government, I think a voting mayor is good. But I don't think Tallahassee has any business telling any municipality to change their form of government. You've heard people talk from Jay Zimbauer to Sarita Beeman and talking about local control, about home rule, which is in our state constitution. I think we have, this is overreach of a classic example. And I know people out there listening, scratch out Winter Springs and write in your city's name. See if you want somebody from Tallahassee telling you how to change your government. I think it's inappropriate. I think this is trumped up. But we've made a point, and Representative Plakin has made her point. The mayor's on notice. The city commissioners are on notice. The people now, thanks to media coverage, have a lot more attention on this. And again, I would then respectfully ask that the member withdraw the local bill for consideration and give this to the people of Winter Springs to execute their plan. And they can put it on a referendum. This is already, a charter review issue is already on Winter Springs' agenda for next Monday. So let the citizens of Winter Springs execute this. Put it on their ballot, vote in 26 or whenever, and then execute a change if that's what they want. This is an overreach of home rule. Tallahassee has no business getting in this municipality's business. But I think it's a good bill. But again, I would respectfully ask the member to withdraw the local bill.
Thank you, Representative Plakin. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I appreciate Representative Smith's comments. He's a respectable member. I will not be withdrawing the bill today. But I do hope that the city will do the right thing. And I have represented part of Winter Springs since 2022. And I do know that some of my constituents are very concerned about this, about some of the issues that are going on. And this is just one step forward in solving these issues. So I thank you today for your support.
Thank you. Representative Placencia.
Thank you. So I have a question for Representative Plakin. I think it's more of a clarification question because as I listen to the public speaking, I just want this clarified. What this bill does, and by and large, I think the members have spoken to it, but what the bill does, is it a mandate for Winter Springs, or is it something that's being placed on the ballot for Winter Springs to decide for themselves?
You recognized.
It is something, thank you, Mr. Chair, it is something that is being placed on the ballot for the people of Winter Springs to decide.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so as well, initially when I heard about this, I was opposed to the idea because it felt like an overreach. We're not there to try and tell the local communities what to do. As Commissioner Smith, or Representative Smith has said, as this has turned out with this amendment, it does put this back to the voters. I think that's the most important thing. The things that have been presented to us, that there have been some underlying issues, that there are those who are concerned about, that again, we get some last minute polling and information, but we have to go based upon the data that we have. Based upon that, this gives the voters the say, and that is the bottom line to me. These are your seats. It is your voice. And so by passing this simply makes sure that the President Commission will move this forward, and they've already said that they will. We believe that this has caused a good conversation, that it will be very healthy for a truly successful city. For that reason, that moved the needle for me to make sure, as long as the end result is the people will have their say. So this will go, and this is my understanding, that this will go to referendum. This is not the state telling you this is the form you will have. It is simply saying you need to address this because there are issues that different ones have said, and that it will result in the people will have their say. When this is said and done, if you like it exactly how it is, it will stay exactly how it is. If it gives the opportunity for that communication and that conversation to be heard. So with that, I'd like to, we actually have, at 7:30,
Make a motion.
I was given information that we need to make a motion. Thank you, Victor, wherever you are. He's our rules guru right here. That we need to make a motion to waive the rule of the three-quarter vote for the delegation.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to waive the rules to take this to a vote.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's take this to a vote. Let's do roll call vote. Representative Placencia.
Yes.
Representative Smith.
No.
Senator Broder.
Yes.
Representative Plakin.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. And so this is moved forward. Now let us go forward to the public. Let me get back to my notes here.